Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been some time since I last did a video here, and I wanted to do something a little bit special this time to get back into the groove of making content for you guys. And this is an idea that I've been trying to come up with for about a year now, but never really committed to it. And that is ranking the Oscar Best Picture nominees best to worst, starting with this year's Oscars, the 2022 Oscars. Now, when it comes to ranking these films, this is my own personal ranking. This ranking in no way is me saying that these are how you have to rank them. This is just my own personal opinion. I have different tastes than many other people. There's some people that will think that none of these movies should have been on this list to begin with. But I wanted to rank these best to worst because I thought it would ultimately be a lot of fun. So anyway, let's get started with number 10. And at number 10, we have Don't Look Up. Now, this film has been getting praised or completely hated by many audiences, and I think I lie somewhere in the middle on the more of the like it side. I think people that are really hating this film and calling it one of the worst films of the year, one of the worst films they've ever seen, it's all hyperbole. I feel like this truly cannot be one of the worst films that people have seen because there's so much worse out there. And really, in the end, I don't know why this is the movie that people gravitate towards to get angry about. Yeah, it's political, but it's not hurtful in any way. It just kind of dumbs down a lot of the things and then talks down to you a little bit like you don't know exactly what's going on. And that is annoying, but really people don't like being talked down to. And so that's why I think people are infuriated by this. But also on the opposite side of things, I don't think this film is great in any means. I just think it was fun while I watched it. I laughed a couple of times. I thought the acting was really good and the music for the most part, especially near the end. I just wish that as a satire, it went a little bit farther. It went a little bit sillier, a little goofier, because it does end up taking itself a bit too seriously, I feel like, especially with the type of plot that it is dealing with. But really, I don't think this is a film to get mad over. Do I think it should have been nominated for Best Picture? No. I think it's just an okay film at best. At number 9, we have Dune. Now, Dune is a movie I have been really looking forward to. I absolutely love all of Denis Villeneuve's previous work. Prisoners, Blade Runner 2049 are two of my favorite films of all time, and I was excited because of the source material and Denis Villeneuve at the helm. And what I got was a beautiful, beautiful looking film with great cinematography, great music, great set design, really great acting, and to me, just emotionally hollow. I need something to latch onto to care about something in a movie, and sadly, Dune was a bit of a disappointment for me. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast watching it, but there was just nothing connecting me to the story or the characters, and I wanted to love this film so much, but I just ended up, in the end, liking it. Now, there's some people that hate this film, some people that absolutely love this film, and again, I'm somebody that at the end of the day, I feel like it's fine. I feel like I need to see the second half of this film, and I do want to revisit this film in the future, but I'm not really clamoring to watch it again right now, but when the second part does come out, I will probably revisit this film and maybe I'll love it more than I did. At number 8, we have King Richard. This is a film that is just a standard sports biopic, like many of the other sports biopics that have come before, but it has a stellar central performance that makes it all worth it and makes a solid film into a great film. And Will Smith's performance is absolutely fantastic. Yes, there's a lot of controversy with him right now with the Oscars, and I do not want to get into that, but I want to reiterate that this performance is really good and one of the best of his career. And even though it's a simple story, it does have a lot of heart to it, really good acting, but at the end of the day, I don't know if I would have nominated this for Best Picture. It's a really good film that is elevated by the performances, and to me, that's about it. But I still loved watching it nonetheless. At number 7, we have The Power of the Dog, which was a fantastic film. Benedict Cumberbatch gives one of his best performances ever. This might be a career best performance, and in fact, I wish he had won over Will Smith. This performance is absolutely stellar. In fact, all the acting is great. This was one of the best looking films that I saw from 2021, and it's a film that really stuck with me far after it ended. I loved the cinematography. I loved the direction. Jane Campion is a fantastic director and has such an eye for detail and symbolism that really kept me thinking about the film far after I finished it. I loved this film to death. At number 6, we have West Side Story, which I am a sucker for a good musical, and I'm also an even bigger sucker for a great one, and this is one of the greats. Spielberg is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time, and seeing him do a musical and do it with such craft is absolutely amazing. This is the best version of this story. I love the original West Side Story, but this one takes it to a whole different level with such great performances, great cinematography, great choreography. It all just makes a whimsical, beautiful story. And, you know, it's something that we've seen time and time again, but it still holds up, I feel like, and is the best version of this story. My one complaint with it, especially when rewatching it, is it does slow down near the middle to a halt, where things become a little less interesting for me until it does build back up for that third act. Number 5 is Nightmare Alley. This is perhaps one of the most underrated films on this list. I absolutely adored this film from beginning to end, from the set design to the direction to the cinematography to the costumes. Everything in this film was just made for me. This is the type of film, after I watched it, I was like, this is the type of film that I would want to make. And it has a fantastic first act followed by a fantastic third act that has one of the best endings to a film that I've seen in a very long time, and it really stuck with me. Bradley Cooper is great in this film, but that final scene just cements this film as something that will stick with me for a very, very long time. At number 4, we have Licorice Pizza. There are films out there that don't take themselves too seriously, that, you know, are just fun to watch, that really make you feel something while you're watching them, whether it's childhood innocence, whether it's, you know, thinking about the good old times when you were younger. this is that film for me. And Paul Thomas Anderson gives us yet another fantastic film from his fantastic library of films. This film was so likable and just it put me in a really good mood while watching it. I loved the characters in this film despite the awkward age gap, but I did like that there was some innocence to this relationship. And it made it a little bit less awkward for me. And also, I found the film incredibly funny, especially when Bradley Cooper appears as the producer, John Peters. He completely steals the show, and I would love to have a biopic with Bradley Cooper as him. I think it would be absolutely fantastic. But yes, this is just one of those films that really lifted my soul in a way. It made me laugh. It really just touched me in a way that some of these films just didn't. At number 3, we have Belfast. I have been looking forward to Kenneth Branagh getting back to top form. I have loved some of his previous films that have come out in recent years, such as Thor, Cinderella, and Murder on the Orient Express. But I have been longing for him to make a film that was as good as his early work, such as with Henry V, Much Ado About Nothing, and Hamlet. And this is that film. This is a phenomenal film, and it's all from the perspective of one child and how he is dealing with the troubles going on in Northern Ireland. And I found this film so heartwarming, so heart-wrenching. It made me laugh. It made me cry. It was just a well-crafted film from a director that experienced some of the stuff that is going on in this film. And I absolutely loved it. It's a film that really, it may not stick with me like some other films, but it's definitely refreshing to see such passion on screen and seeing Kenneth Branagh back to top form. At number 2, we have Coda, which is the most remarkable film I saw from 2021. Coda is a very simple story. So simple that you were like, what's the big deal about this film? But it's the performances. It's all about the performances and the writing, especially from the guy that plays the father in this film, who is deaf. His performance is definitely the best that I saw of all of the films that I saw last year. He is phenomenal, but the other performances are all stellar. The acting is great, the direction, and really having this simple of a story made the performances shine even more and stand out. This was a perfect film by all means. I absolutely loved it. It's now one of my favorite films of all time, I think, and it was deserving of everything it was nominated for and eventually winning Best Picture itself. Now, at number 1, we have Drive My Car. This film shocked me to my core when watching it. I was really nervous about watching it because it's a 3-hour film. Now, I'm somebody that loves a good 3-hour film, but also I do have a bit of a small attention span at times, and I was afraid that I would find this film boring in parts, but that was never the case. I loved this film so much, from the performances to the direction to the story overall. I knew I was in for something special when 40 minutes into the movie, the credits start playing. All of that was prologue to set up the rest of the film, and it's a haunting portrait of dealing with loss. And the main character in this film really goes to some dark places and has to deal with so much loss. And seeing him come to terms with his wife's death, it's one of the most heartbreaking films I've ever seen, and just a haunting portrayal of loss. I loved this film so much. I think it was absolutely perfect. I wouldn't have cut a single scene. The pacing was perfect, and it is by far the best film that I saw out of all 10 of these movies. But anyway, guys, that is my ranking of the 10 Best Picture nominees for the 2022 Oscars. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it a lot of fun. And if this video does well, I may consider doing more of these Oscar rankings in the future, not just for the next Oscars, but for all the other Oscars that came before, starting in, the silent era with the 1927, 1928 Oscars even, because I find it fun. I like watching these Oscar nominated movies and just seeing what the landscape of that particular year was. And I think it's something that could be a lot of fun. But anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and stay positive.